Warrior of light. Terrible times have come for the entire planet. Years of devastation, earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, floods, and fires. Almost all living beings were destroyed, and those who survived were struck by hunger and diseases. People were covered with unhealing, decaying ulcers. There were no medicines, no doctors either. People wandered through the broken streets like living corpses, not knowing where death would find them. Bodies everywhere. No one cleaned them up. No one even dared to gnaw their bones, because the beasts had died out, and those that survived scattered or were eaten by people. And amidst such chaos, the hope of warmth and love smoldered. There were people who rose from the ruins, gathered in groups and then in legions, and whoever was fit for battle took it up because there was no one else to fight to defend their native land. The young quickly adapted and toughened. Their psyche could calmly withstand the events. Marcus was one of them, too big for his age, looked mature, even manly, also joined the ranks of the warriors of light. But he had a beloved girlfriend, Laura, a trembling, devoted creature. Just like many others, she lost all her relatives. And now, fully trusting the only close person in the universe, Marcus, he was her family, friend, and love. A great, pure, and bright love. Throughout her life, she could not imagine herself without him, without his protection, love, so she clung to him with her whole body like a yellow-throated sparrow, timidly looking at the fragile world from under his arm. Marcus was greatly concerned about Laura's health and life, as she was so fragile and weak. Many went to the Warriors of Light together with their companions and saw it as support and strength. But Marcus decided differently, knowing that Laura would not endure neither in the ranks of the warriors nor left alone here, and believed that this decision was the right one. The day of departure came. Friends, relatives came to say goodbye. Who stayed with whom? Marcus arranged to meet Laura in a deserted place so that no one would disturb the farewell of two loving hearts. Embracing his beloved passionately in a tender kiss, he, not letting go of her desired lips, lifted her up and as if carried her, sometimes spinning like in a wedding waltz. The kiss was so long it consumed them both, but it continued and continued until the girl closed her eyes in tender exhaustion in blissful happiness. And then the kiss abruptly ended, and the girl sank into the throat of a large icy vessel. She flew not for long, fell on a soft bedding as if made of cotton, where there was nothing, no furniture, no bed. The girl remained in such a position and feeling of a long kiss. For her it did not end. She felt it on her lips, reveled in it, and seemed to be happy forever. Cryocapsules were developed just for such cases, and now there were many of these cases. Everyone wanted to ensure the safety of their loved ones. The capsule provided with rarefied air along with sufficient food for the inhabitants. Mentally bidding farewell, Marcus vowed to his beloved, "I will return. The planet is in danger, and they must not sit idly by." They were enrolled in the flight school on the planet where warriors of light are trained, because each of them shines brightly. The light of passion, the light of love, the light of self-sacrifice, different light, and it is in every warrior of light. This is his weapon against the darkness. Clots of darkness spreading at a tremendous speed. They were taught that there is a lot of darkness in the souls of the living and the dead, a lot of greed, envy, malice, and even after death, these dark sides join the ranks of darkness. There are few warriors of light, so they mobilize throughout the universe, those who still shine. The training did not last very long. Everyone was eager to test themselves in action, and they were given such an opportunity, first under the supervision of a curator, and then under the leadership of a senior, who soon became Marcus. He fought fearlessly, furiously. His body burned brightly, with such a blinding light that when he threw himself into the depths of darkness, it instantly burned from his fire of the power of love and invincible, inexhaustible. He felt this power, and he also felt Laura's unrelenting kiss. She still kissed him hard, and he rushed into battle again and again. For her sake, he must destroy as much evil as possible. Time passed unnoticeable in the battle. It seemed to him that little time had passed. The enemy was still strong, and soon they would win. But time in space and on Earth is very different. But he did not know this and did not even feel it. He was still young and strong. He became the chief commander of the Warriors of Light, fearless. He was loved for his honesty and courage. Many had families and already growing new warriors, but Marcus was alone. People did not understand him, but did not intrude into his soul. The next battle was hard. Everyone noticed that their commander was either suffering from numerous wounds or age, but the power of fire began to weaken, like a burning candle. After the last wound, he was treated for a long time, stitched and darned, but he recovered with difficulty. Therefore, he was decommissioned as a veteran. The fire barely flickered in his chest. Another shuttle sent him to Earth. When his foot stepped on solid ground, he did not recognize anything. These were alien cities, as they showed slides from the world of fantasies. Here, this fantasy became reality. And he, among the fanciful structures, bridges, elevators, roads, streets, everything from the world of the distant future. Faceless people, rushing somewhere, he asks them, but they don't answer. They walk as if in a movie. No one came up, no one responded. Dejected, Marcus wandered through strange streets all day, exhausted, stumbled upon something resembling a park made of iron, metal pillars, carousels, saw a lonely metal chair standing aside, collapsed onto it, his legs barely holding him. But then the chair spoke with a metallic voice. "Welcome, robot of the old model Nilsson welcomes you." Marcus looked questioningly at the chair. The robot chair was persistent in its further route. "Tell me, what year is it here?" When the robot answered, Marcus turned pale. That means he is 104 years old. And what about his Laura? He felt dizzy. How can this be? They just separated yesterday, and now it's been an eternity. The robot was persistent in its further route. "I need to find crinoline mines. Can you clarify the question?" Marcus tried to remember, but so much time had passed and everything changed, and he couldn't remember where these mines were. Then, the robot opened the archive program and found the approximate location of this object, tightly fastened its passenger. The robot rolled, creaking with its unsmeared wheels, then rose above the ground and smoothly flew to the platform of a skyscraper. There was something like a worm train, crawling and flying. Inside, a dim light poured for an instant, and the robot took its passenger out into the dark night. Darkness, starry sky, and nothingness, empty. Marcus was surprised how in an instant the sky can darken so much. The robot searched for further navigation in the dark desert and found a partially destroyed platform on an icy ledge, resembling a cave with huge, thick, old gates, tightly closed for how many years? "Do you need a code? Please tell me the code." "What code?" Marcus was at a loss. He had forgotten all the codes. He thought he remembered everything like it was yesterday. But it turned out that so many years had passed, and he had forgotten everything. Then the robot connected its antennas to his head. It hissed and thumped for a long time, finally pulling out the necessary codes from the depths of his memory. "What would I do without him?" Marcus thought. "He is my savior," and the robot responded to his thoughts. Its lamps on the back of the chair lit up, blinking all at once. "I accept your gratitude, your compliment," the metallic voice sounded. The codes had to be entered several times. The outdated program was loading with difficulty. A ledge in the rubble in huge blocks of ice, the gates opened with difficulty, inviting into a dimly lit, cluttered corridor filled with ice debris. The robot pushed aside the ice floes, and where it couldn't, it jumped over them. Soon, old cryocells came into view. They were almost empty. Only a few beings remained that, for some reason, were not taken. Were beating with translucent bodies against the thick walls of the cryocells, uselessly and inconsolably freezing. In the next cell, he saw his Laura. Her motionless, semi-transparent body lay there, emitting a barely visible light, flickering, faltering. And Marcus, with a horrified look, begged the robot to do something, otherwise he would not have time. The old robot cut through the thickness of a century-old ice with a laser beam, made an opening, and Marcus, with his last strength, rushed there to his beloved, but she was dying in his arms with a happy smile. And once again, the faithful robot came to Marcus's aid. With its metallic voice, it said, "In the same way you sent her here, you will return her." Marcus never forgot the taste of Laura's last kiss. He pressed his lips to her icy lips. The kiss lasted a long time, until the girl opened her transparent eyes and embraced him with her translucent hands. They seemed inseparable. He gave her his strength, and he himself became translucent. He was ready for anything as long as this kiss lasted forever. Then, embracing each other tightly, they rose and flew weightlessly upwards into the starry sky. The old robot knew that they would find shelter there, because they were renewed, higher beings of goodness and light, inexhaustible love. Then it freed the remaining icy prisoners, but still alive and translucent ones, having fulfilled its mission. It hurried back to its place in the Iron Park as an old, too emotional for a robot model, where it was left in the form of a chair, for possible help from the same old warriors of light, who suddenly returned to their native land.